bigger. And today with me is...
As always, hello everybody, my name is Dvorak, aka Storyteller CZ, coming to you live from Prague.
And we've got a guest from the Meteor software team with us today as well.
Hey guys, I'm Mehik. I'm the engineering manager here at Meteor. I've been working with Galaxy and also helping on the open source team. And yeah, I will be talking about Galaxy and its expansion.
All right.
Yes.
Enrique is going to be joining us for later. But Jan, what do we have first for the news?
So, first of all, we have a big block of news, and the very first of the news is this time concerning everyone in the open source realm, and it's not that clear to say, but first, Jan, can you please open the slides? Because we always have our slides. Correct. So, the Linux Foundation has released a comprehensive guide to help open source developers navigate the complex landscape of US Office of Foreign Assets Control sanctions. What does that mean? That means there are subjects like countries, companies, persons, individuals, groups that are on a sanction list. And if you want to do business with these individuals, then you get into legal trouble easily. And this is now also affecting open source development, because if you're a company, or if you have a company that has their company central on US soil and is registered in the US, and you provide some kind of open source access to your, I don't know, you have your core product, or parts of your products or services are open source, and you let other people contribute, then this can become subject to these OFAC sanctions. And if this is applying to you, or if you're an individual that lives in a sanctioned country and you want to shape your open source profile, then you also have to get to know what you're actually able to do, what are others able to do, and where are the limits of all this. So check this out. We linked it here, but we will also link it after the stream in the description. This is definitely something for everyone that everybody should consider here. And with that, let's get to the next one. Oh yes, what's that graphic? That looks nice. There's something super big and the rest is pretty small. What is that? It's actually a comparison between Bun and Node.js. And you might think like, yeah, we know Bun is faster than Node, right? Yeah, here's the thing. There was somebody coming up with some benchmarks that Bun is 20 times slower than Node. And we linked the DevTO article in our tiny URL. Interestingly, this comparison earned lots of critics. So I went through the article and it was about everyone saying, yeah, your performance metrics are fault, or how can you compare all these, and it's not neutral. And in that case, I'm with the people, maybe the benchmarks are not 100% correct, but I'm not the expert on benchmarks. So if this interests you, especially if you want to check out Bun and you want to see how future-proof is Bun, then I would suggest you check out the article. It's on DevTO. It's written by, sorry, I forgot to paste the actual image here. That's a little bit annoying. From Samshon and the Yongo Nam, and it's called Bun is up to 20 times slower than Node.js and logic operations. Again, take this with a grain of salt. It might not be 100% proof, but it's an interesting indicator. And with that, I give to the next one, and that's on.
All right, you might have seen me mention this probably in the past few times. Temporal is the new, I could say, dates and times object or API that will be coming to JavaScript, and we finally got our first, let's say, implementation. It's in the Firefox Nightly and Safari as well, but that's about it, sadly. So if you want to kind of check it out and use it, then use those two browsers. Beyond that, what you really are waiting is for this to have available in a Node or V8 engines, which also will make it available at the same time in Chrome. And once Chrome has it in regular release, then we can start using it. Once again, Temporal is the replacement for the date API, and it's worked much better. The big thing is that it should do all the things that not today you have usually a few dependencies around, managing dates and working with them. So Temporal is to make that all that easier, so you have less dependencies in your project, and that's why I love it so much. So check that out.
I can only support that. I mean, this was one of the most demanded features in the state of JS surveys for years, right? I mean, everybody was dropping Moment, and then there were some libraries, and honestly, I was using the plain date object for ages because I always hated this dependency fiddling just to get dates right. Come on, it's dates. It's not something fancy, it's just dates.
Yeah, exactly my thing. I've been also using, I'm still using pure dates and waiting for Temporal, and yeah, just you have to be mindful and know about it, and it's not a problem. But to the next news.
Yeah, this is one of a kind. So there is this guy, and unfortunately his name is not in the image because usually it's Felix Rieseberg, and he's a Electron co-maintainer. I wanted to put the name on here. I don't know why. Maybe I was not so detailed with the presentation today. So there, usually the name is there, and he wrote an article about what people get wrong about Electron. And the interesting thing here is the background. So everybody knows maybe already that there is on the internet, many people always, there's some FUD, but also some realistic critique on Electron about its performance, and sometimes it's bloated, like bloated apps on the desktop with Electron. And I mean, we as Meteor developers, we know that Electron integration is also not the easiest. And here's the thing: he's writing an article about what people get wrong about Electron, and why I think everybody should read this article is because he is actually defending his product in a very positive way, in a very positivistic way, that we should all read as a community and think about how it's written and what we as Meteor community can learn from that. Because we have a similar situation sometimes, at least when I get into discussions or I'm reading discussions on Reddit, on DevTO, there are still people that have a totally false impression on Meteor. And I think it's time to get an article like this out there. And it's not a defensive article, that's the great about it. So everybody should read on that and learn something from it on how you can make, how you can create an understanding for people.
Absolutely.
Plus it's very insightful on Electron. Sorry, I forgot to tell it. Plus it's very insightful on Electron, and maybe also something that will help us to get back to Meteor Desktop and get a better understanding of Electron again. That's also something.
Yeah, so there you have the, let's say, idea for article, if you want to do that. And you probably do that fast before Jan or me or steals this or does this article for you. Next, one thing that kind of came up to our forums is this new framework called Skip in alpha right now. Yes, Skip. Let me double check my notes here. Yeah, so Skip alpha, it has been released back in December, but it made it to our forums. And the comment was, it's 2025 and someone invented Meteor subscriptions again. So it's supposed to be, again, a framework for real-time application, reactive, all that stuff. Pretty much many things that Meteor does. But it's interesting how the Meteor, could say, ideas are still popping out, and this kind of shows again that we have more and more framework that either people don't know about Meteor or that still the problems have not been solved to people's satisfaction. And in the future, I hope to take this for a ride and see what we can get inspired and how to improve Meteor. That might be maybe another question maybe for our guests, but definitely check it out to see. And while doing that, don't forget to give us a like down here so that we know that you're watching, that you are here. It also helps us in the algorithms. And for example, I'll give you my trick on YouTube. I like or dislike videos just to make sure to kind of put them in so that I have like a mark for future to see if I have watched the video or not.
So sorry, Jan, before we go into the Meteor news, so I'm a little bit sorry. Can you please go once more back to the Electron article? So there's one thing I totally forgot, and it's because I had a very crazy week and was doing the presentation last minute. I forgot some things to compile. The more interesting thing that resulted from this article is actually there is a documentation page. I also pasted it in the chat, and Jan, maybe you can quickly open it, and I can send you. And this is something that I would like to see also in the Meteor documentation and somewhere in the docs, and that is simply on the Electron docs. There is this page called Why Electron, and this is just like a simple documentation page that helps you to understand not only what it is, but also why to choose it, when to choose it, and in which circumstances you're about to make this decision. And this is really important nowadays. There is this, everywhere there's this framework fatigue. You have thousands of frameworks. You just showed us yet another framework, but there's hardly an argument for why I should choose it over another, or why should I not choose it over another. And that's because this kind of context is often missing, and this is why I think this is very awesome. It gives you the insight from, if you scroll down, it's more of a text. It's not really about like how it's done, but it's about the why. And this is what people struggle with often, especially beginners. Why should I choose this framework and not this? Everybody's telling me I have to choose this and that, but why should I choose this one exactly? So this is something we should definitely think about for Meteor, in my opinion. I would love to see that on the Meteor docs, having a single page dedicated why Meteor in a positive way. Like, why should I choose Meteor? What's the use case for choosing Meteor? And yeah, and if you want to do a simple blog, then maybe it's overkill. But apart from that, if you do want to do a great web app, then this is great because A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And we should take this as a little blueprint, or like as a little inspiration.
Sounds good. And let me switch back to our presentation. Once again, and we are moving off to the final part of the news, which is Meteor News, which is sponsored by Liter Universe. Liter Universe is all-in-one creative writing and publishing platform. Will be going into full release in the next few months. If you want to go in onto the action, you can use promo code MeteorJS to get 1 month of any subscription for free. And jumping straight into it, Meteor 3.1.2 is out. So that's now publicly available. It's not a recommended release. From what we heard, it's available, or it will be recommended probably sometime next week. But right now, it fixes quite a few bugs, and but beyond that, and has of course the latest Node.js version.
And it has a new updated view skeleton. If you've noticed on some of our videos, but also in the forums, there were some comments that the view integration has some issues, and the Vite integration, and there are some errors, and it's not building correct, and which package should I use? There is this Meteor package, there is this NPM package, which is exactly the right version. This is fixed in the skeleton. You just use Meteor create -- release is 3.1.2 -- view. Project is created and it's working.
Yes, and that said, Meteor 3.2 development has really kicked off as well. Just even minutes before we came live, I was looking quickly to see what is their news, and the big part is that what we'll see there is Argon 2 for accounts passwords. If you don't know, Argon 2 is a replacement for bcrypt, for a password hashing, salting, all that stuff. It's improved for security, as you can probably imagine. Replacing bcrypt and all that stuff, especially in live application, it's not an easy task. So we'll have more on that in the future. There's going to be a gradual transition, of course, also, and especially in the beginning for people. It will be, of course, you will be able to run kind of both in sync, and there will be transition, all that stuff. So stay tuned for more information. Next, on the forums, I have opened a discussion thread that if we want to, or I'm considering going to JS Nation 2025. And I was kind of wondering if there are other people who want to go as well, and if we should maybe get in a talk or two in. So we have a coordination thread for people who might be interested. So that one is happening in Europe. So check it out and let us know what you think. Go ahead, Jan.
It's in Amsterdam, right?
Yes.
Cool.
In Amsterdam in summer. Let me get the dates for you.
Yep. In the meantime, there is a new release for Blaze. This is a minor release, just improving on some errors, and mostly how errors in helpers are reported, because before you were just getting, there is an error in a helper, but it didn't tell you if it's a global helper, if it's a helper of a certain template, and what's the name of the helper. This has improved now. You can try it out and you can give feedback if it works, and you can expect some more improvements on error handling in Blaze soon. My mid-time goal is also to get this source map reporting correct, so we can finally use the proper source maps on the client for Blaze, so that we can get a better debugging experience in Blaze as we have already in React or in Vue and in other front ends.
Sweet. So it might be a bit confusing with the JS Nation conference, because it's like a hybrid conference. We have online days and you have remote days and you have on location. But June 12th is the main day. But really, given how all those dates go, it really starts on June 11th with pre-events, and June 12th is the main conference. June 13 is, you could say, kind of the after party, and 14 is hangout day, but at least that's why they advertise it so. And on the 16th is the remote conference day. So that's the schedule for the conference. Once again, it's in Amsterdam. And of course, if going to a conference like this, I would say definitely go in person, but I understand that, remote so is also an option for quite a few people. So yeah, we have a thread on that on the forums. So let's coordinate and let's see if we can figure out a topic that could be interesting to the wider JavaScript community. And finally, on the news, we have just released 4.7 SCSS version 5 alpha, which is the SaaS package that many of you use, and this one is specifically for Meteor 3 on that. Jan, anything to add here?
Yes, I would like to mention that this release has been made possible due to an external collaborator, and this is open source in its core. So please be aware, we're not the only ones maintaining these things. So let's give credit to him. And I wrote down a name, and now after our our hiccup with the tool today, we got the issue that I had to close my browser session for once. It is opened by Illusion Field, and the name is Hoffi from Budapest. So thank you for that contribution, really great. And everybody who is relying on SCSS, please, you can install 5.0.0 alpha.1 in your packages and see if it works. It's entirely changing under the hood and hopefully works out flawlessly with Meteor 3 to the outside. There should be nothing breaking. Check out the PR, leave some hearts, leave some stars, and if you want to contribute, just reach out to us. We love to see any contribution on the community packages all the time.
All right, and the final piece of the news relates to Meteor Impact. There are some updates. The date is set for September 25th. That's Thursday in most time zones. It will be 12 hours long, and which will end, with really pretty much 12 sessions, probably a bit more because some of them will be just half an hour. So start getting ready with your showcases, talks, all that stuff. Call for speakers is going to go out very soon, definitely by the end of this month. The same thing for sponsors as well, so stay tuned for more information. We have a forum thread for that as well, which we talked about last week. And with that, please help us out. Subscribe to this channel. That will get us closer to our goals, and hopefully reaching for some ad revenue and being able to afford more things for this stream. And as we go, we are getting into the Understanding Meteor section, which is sponsored by Meteor Software. If you go to Galaxy, you can use the dispatches-60 code to get $60 off on Galaxy, which, if you try it out, will be for about like a month or two, depending on how much you are using. And without further ado, let's welcome Henrique. Welcome back. Enrique, hey, just a moment. Looks like we have some technical issue. Let me just quickly check the. Let me check what the YouTube is happening, because they say they have no audio from you, even though I can hear you fine. So. Okay, that's very strange. But so on YouTube, you are not. We cannot hear you. That's very strange. So let me try to unmute you, and because everything from you should be on screen here and fine. Let's see. Let's jump back. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try again. Let's speak a little bit to see if. Why is that happening? Why is it specifically you? That's very strange. And let me. Okay. Go to Galaxy, or sorry, to Atmosphere there, and tell us a little bit more about it, or show us around. And I'll quickly check here in the YouTube, and if not, I'll just add and remove you and see if the classic turning it on and off will work.
Yeah, sure. Let's try. Say something. He can. I think it's working. Okay, so Gab said that it's working. I think I can go ahead then, right?
Yep.
Yeah, nice. So just saying what Galaxy is, it's basically you can host your Meteor apps and also now MongoDB databases. And I'm showing you right now the old Galaxy. So you can like preview your app here. So you can have like connections, CPU and memory. You can also scale manually your containers and also set triggers to auto scale your containers based on some metrics like CPU or memory or connections or whatever the rule you want. And you also have logs for your app, and also you have versions of your app which you can roll back to previous version. And like let's say that you have an incident, and then you can like roll back to a previous version, so everything is fixed. And you can also deploy your apps. Saying about deploying, you can use the command line, which is Meteor deploy, and the host name. This is from our docs, and you can deploy using the CLI. So it's going to build your app inside your computer, and then it's going to push it into Galaxy. Or you can choose the push to deploy feature, which you connect your repository on GitHub, and then when you make change, like when you commit something into main branch, let's say, a new version will be deployed by our servers. And now I'm going to show a little bit about the new Galaxy. We started building that last year. There are some things that needs to be migrated, but we are almost there. And I'm just going to show you the push deploy feature. You just click here, create new, deploy app, or you can also create a new database. So you can choose like which version you want, the accounts and the type and whatever settings that you need. And then you can request the database to our DevOps team, which will create like very fast for you and make sure that everything works. And if you need help with migration, we can help you out as well. So getting back to the push deploy, now you can choose between Meteor apps, Node apps, and Python apps. So this is a new enhancement that we made. You can now, like every app you can create like using MeteorJS, which is an amazing framework. But sometimes you need like a job running something else, like in Express, for instance. Or do you have like a Python web server using Django or something else? So now you are able to do that inside Galaxy. And in order to support everything, we just create a new infrastructure to like replace our decade-old infrastructure. So it's been like 10 years from Galaxy, and now we achieve like 10 times faster build times, improve the scalability, better performance, and better monitoring. I would just deploy a quick Node.js apps just so you guys see how fast it is. I have a Nest.js application here that I prepared. I will deploy on a Nano, which is the smaller container that we have. I will create like a Nest.js example, Enrique. I can use like Node 2022, 22, 20, and 18. You can set the style command, the build command, and also the start command. I have this one for my repository. And then you simply click on deploy, and it's going to deploy your app. And then you can see that it's creating, and then you can check the logs, the status for it. So it's already like building. It already cloned the repository, and it's already running npm install inside your container. I will talk more about other things while we have the deployment going here. So you can also switch plans, and you can also change your push to deploy configurations. You have the settings here, which you can add new domains, root domains as well, like Meteor.com. You can also delete and stop your app. You have the versions as well. You also have the containers view here. It's already building. That's why you don't see it. And you have basically almost the same functionality that Meteor has. Meteor apps also has like multi-APM, so you can like understand a little bit more under the hood your application, like publications and other things. And for Node.js apps and Python, we don't have that yet. So yeah, it's already built. It's now finishing the deployment, and we should see the logs here real quick. What else? For Python apps, we don't support yet AI, but you can deploy web servers. That's our mainly goal right now. But if we have like a lots of feedback and customers asking for it, we can always enable that and support that in the future. And for the 2025 roadmap, we have coming soon Postgres support, Ruby and Golang, because other people ask for it. And then we have some performance optimizations and Galaxy 2 UI and UX improvements to make it easier and faster. Let's wait a little bit more. It's still deploying. I think it's setting up the SSL. And yeah, it also has like SSL automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. And that's basically it. I'm going to show. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So this kind of like makes me wondering, with all these new additions, are there like also any plans to say interconnect all of these different plans? We had some discussions, I think, on GitHub and on the forums and elsewhere. Are there like any plans to have connectors? So, for example, I can have landing pages in Next, and I have some sort of like an npm package that will allow me to log in people on my landing pages into their Meteor accounts from my main Meteor application. Any plans to be revealed, or not just like, for regular Node.js application, but also, since you mentioned Ruby and Go, for those as well? Anything like that?
Yeah, I think we didn't thought about it, but it's already possible with some packages from the community. So you can connect to like from Next.js to a Meteor application. I know that we have for React Native as well. So it is already possible to do that. But yeah, we can like expand based on customer needs. And if you guys like need that and want that, we can always build things and make sure that everything it's easier than before. That's our plans. I'll just open the one here from Nest.js here. This one. You can like ask more questions if you want as well.
Jan Küster, anything from you, or let me check the chat to see if we have any questions on that.
So I don't really have a question, but a comment, and that is, you said you don't support AI yet, and I can only tell you I totally understand. We're trying to get a decent infrastructure for hosting custom models in our university, and it's really complicated to get this whole resource virtualization done properly, especially once GPU come into play, because you have this bottleneck in GPUs, that you have this sequential processing, and then you can only do like batch jobs. Or I think there is a very expensive offer on proper GPU virtualization from NVIDIA. And if you offer this, you will basically get no one to do it, to buy, because it's so super expensive. And so I totally understand that this may take time, but I'm really curious if you will find a solution to that issue. I mean, that would be like a super competitive advantage on the market if you can allow with a fair price to have people to host their models. But yeah,
Yeah. I agree with you. It's very hard to. I think it's has some echo.
Sorry, that's mine.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Yeah, I think like it's a little bit hard to maintain that, and also it's expensive. We are trying to figure out how things works for AI. We are finishing some things for like Python, Node, Golang, Ruby, to make sure that everything is very stable, and then we can move to AI world. I think it has a lot of potential, and we can definitely be one of the players that will support that in the future. And yeah, I think like what our customers ask for it, we can do. We can figure out how to do it, and I think we have an amazing team here that like we built that new infrastructure from scratch. So it was like a very challenging thing to do, and it's way faster than like before. So it's great, you know. So yeah, the app just finished here, just to show you. It's hi there from another world. So this is
That's
my
from the Python world, or from where is it?
This is from Nest.js application.
Okay. And so do I get it right that I could also, in theory, I could also have a plain Node app being deployed, so it doesn't necessarily need to be Nest.js, but it could be, but I could also write my own, I don't know, just some very thin Express microservice, and then have some HTTP serving, and that's
Yeah, exactly. You can create anything like Express, Fastify, Nest.js, Adonis, or whatever the framework you want from Node.js world. And you can even deploy Next.js applications as well. Of course, you need to use the Node server. It's not using like serverless, but like anything that's like a long living Node.js application, and also for Python. So I tested like Fast API, Django, and basically anything that you can put like install command, build command, and I start command. So actually, we can support basically any language. We are just expanding slowly to understand the client needs, but we support basically anything that you can put inside a Docker container. So yeah, it works great.
Any specific instruction when using like a node application? Does it have to have in the npm the script or build command, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can actually have everything inside your package JSON as a script. So you can simply relate to that. So it's like npm run start, and then you can link this script into a sh command, for instance, that you can have like multiple steps there. You can run your tests before starting the app. Or like for Adonis.js, they are a little bit more complicated to deploy than a simple Node.js app. You need to run like Adonis build and then go inside the folder and then run from it. Like you need to install npm dependencies again. It's a little bit of a hassle, but you can also do that there. The plan is to have like some templates that you can pick on. Like for instance, for Adonis.js, you can just pick the template and it will automatically detect everything for you. So it will be easier in the future. So that's the main goal, to make things easier and faster than before. And also cheaper. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one more question. And where can people find information if they get stuck on anything?
Yeah, sure. We also have our documentation, where you can click here on help and support. You can have like the guide here, which will redirect for our support page. It has for MongoDB and also for Node.js. You can just type Node here, and it will teach you how to deploy every step here. So it has a very good documentation, but also you can reach out to our support team, where you can click here again and chat support, and then you can talk with someone. Right now, Davi is on call. He can help you with anything related to MeteorJS, MongoDB, or Node or Python app. And every week is another person. Like we have Aquino and Thiago from the DevOps team that will help you. And if you need anything related to developer things, I can also jump in and help you there. So it depends on your needs. We can pick someone that is more experienced with that. Like we can call like Nacho or Gabriel from the open source team to help you with MeteorJS issues. So it's a very good option that we have. We enable that. I think it's been 6 months ago, this chat, and it's like it's improved a lot, the support for everyone at Galaxy.
And especially if that's helping people, and you can say you can see, oh, it's adopted, people like it and people use it, and it helps everyone to get further. And I always think it's important to have a decent support infrastructure on these things that get you in touch easily and not wait like ages until a response comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Like yesterday, as I was helping with an issue, and Davi just sent me a message, and then I stopped everything to do and to help him to understand like what was going on, and we just fixed it in a couple of hours, and the client was happy. So yeah, this is great. It really improved the support.
So you can see, people, everyone, you get first-hand support when you're joining Galaxy. And I've checked the chat. There is currently no one anymore asking any questions. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, because we're live for a few more minutes. Then our live stream will unfortunately go off for today. But next week we will have unlimited streaming time again when Alim is back. Until then, let us know if there is what's your experience with Galaxy, if you have ever heard of Galaxy, and if you're not watching live, then just let us know in the comments if you're interested, or what your question, and we can definitely move that forward to Enrique. And we also have a chat message from Fred. Yeah. So Fred said they tested AI support, but it sucks. So you have only real people supporting you now. Yeah, that's true. I can only support that statement. At our university, we're still in the experimental phase of having chatbots for certain things, and if it goes beyond fact-finding information on the huge knowledge base, everything beyond that, it's not really adopted. It's people want to have real people to talk with on problems, either digging through sources and reading up things, or talking to real people. That's at least what we found for now.
All right. I just also want to mention before we go that also Felipe and David are in the chat, so you can, if you have encountered them before on support, or you can chat with them or say thank you. One last thing here, I think not many people know it, so I would like to highlight it. And I think, and Enrique, you can probably direct me or direct people. If people have idea for Galaxy, what should they do? Where should they go? How does that work with including new features?
Yeah, you just open a chat with us, and you can drop your suggestions there, and we will listen. We will plan, of course, if it makes sense. And yeah, just open a chat with us, and you can drop your suggestions or problems, and we will help you.
And I do believe that also, if not seeing that right now from your screen, under the there is the change log, and I believe there is also some option to vote on features as well. Where do we have that?
Yeah,
help support, change log. At least that was where it was last time. Oh no.
yeah, I think they changed the link from there, but yeah, I will grab it here. Just a second.
Okay, so I guess if that will be changed soon, hopefully before
change log to backlog.
Yeah, but I that link will then lead to changelog, and from what I remember, if you're using still the same system, there's option to propose new features and vote what other people have proposed as well. So that's another way to put things in.
Yeah, it works. It works when it works. But yeah, I think the easiest way to open a chat with us, and then we can talk direct with you and understand a little bit more about the feature that we want. And one other thing that we have custom plans. So if you need like a VPC or a WAF or anything else like customized for your infrastructure, we can also do that. You don't need to have like enterprise plan and pay like $1 million. You can spend a few bucks to have something customized for you. And we have like many clients that have like just a small piece of infrastructure that is customized. So this is another thing that we have, and it's great.
Okay, so let's wrap up for today. We did a lot of news, but we also showed you that Galaxy got so much bigger, and let's see what's your experience with that. Let us know, leave a comment or engage in the forums, or as already pointed out, you can also use the internal chat to get directly in contact with the team. And yeah, thank you for that, and I'm really excited that it's also now featuring Python, it's featuring Node. We can see that this is not only growing, but this is becoming a serious player in the field of these whole hosting services, and we're really excited to see how that journey continues, especially because it is always, so people who don't know about this, Galaxy is the commercial service of Meteor Software, the company that is also financing and contributing to MeteorJS as a core. So this is also the, how to say, the fuel of the framework, basically, because of course open source development is one thing, but developers also need to get paid. And with that, I would say, I don't know how to say it in English. I know how to say it in German, but in English I would say, I wish you a continuing success with the Galaxy enterprise for the future. And Jan, do you have anything to add or for this episode? Because then we would wrap up and say goodbye.
Just that just Enrique sent me the changelog, or specifically there's also like so you can see the changelog, and then there's also feedback, which if you sign in you can add, and you can see some feedback suggestions from me as well, so we can have discussions and vote on what people want to. Oh, sorry, I forgot to share my screen, so let's get this back here. So this is the feedback side, so all the options or people that want are there, and of course you can see the big changelog. Normally this will come through email, but it's also sometimes good to have this so I can check it out. With that, again, I want to join Jan with wishing the best success. Thank you very much for joining us today. And hopefully we'll see you in the future for another exciting announcements of new features.
Yeah, amazing.
All right, Jan, take us out.
You're muted.
And with that, I wish everyone a great weekend and hope to see you here next week. Goodbye.
Okay, let's end the stream if I can figure it out. And stream.